Hello everyone, I am Ajij Ahmad, student of BSc Animation, and today we'll talk about BSc Animation, but please subscribe my channel. So let's start the video. Animation is a form of art that creates the illusion of movement through a sequence of still images. The history of animation can be traced back to the early 1800s, with the development of devices like the thaumatrope and zoetrope that used the persistence of vision to create the illusion of motion. However, the first animated film is generally considered to be Humorous Phases of Funny Faces, which was created by American cartoonist J. Stuart Blackton in 1906. Early animation devices. The thaumatrope, invented in 1824 by John Ayrton Paris, was a simple device consisting of a disc with a different image on each side and a string attached to each end. When the strings were twisted, the disc spun and the images appeared to merge into one. And the zoetrope, invented in 1834 by William George Horner, was a cylinder with slits cut vertically into the sides. A sequence of images was placed inside the cylinder, and when the cylinder was spun, the images appeared to move. The phenakistoscope, invented in 1832 by Joseph Plateau, was similar to the zoetrope but used a series of drawings on a disc that was viewed through a series of slits in a mirror. Early animated films. In the early 20th century, animation became increasingly popular, particularly in the form of short films shown before feature-length movies. Some of the most famous early animation studios included Disney, Warner Bros., and Fleischer Studios. Winsor McCay, an American cartoonist, created the first animated film to feature a character with a personality and a story. Gertie the Dinosaur, released in 1914, featured a cartoon dinosaur that interacted with its creator on stage. In 1928, Walt Disney introduced synchronized sound to animation with the release of Steamboat Willie, which featured the debut of Mickey Mouse. Disney continued to innovate with the first feature-length animated film, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, which was released in 1937. Animation techniques. During the early days of animation, most animation was done by hand, with artists creating each frame individually. This was a time-consuming process, but it allowed for a high degree of control over the final product. In the 1930s, Disney introduced the use of cel animation, which involved creating transparent sheets of celluloid with individual drawings on them. This allowed animators to reuse background images and reduce the amount of work required for each frame. Computer-generated imagery, CGI, became popular in the latter half of the 20th century, with films like Tron, 1982, and Toy Story, 1995, using computer-generated images to create entire worlds and characters. And what is Flipbook? A flipbook is a small book with a series of pictures that vary gradually from one page to the next. When the pages are flipped quickly, the pictures appear to animate and create the illusion of motion. The flipbook is a simple form of animation that has been used for entertainment and education for many years. Flipbooks were first popularized in the late 1800s and early 1900s as a simple and inexpensive form of animation, and they continue to be used today as a creative and engaging way to tell stories or demonstrate a process. And who were Walt Disney? Walt Disney, 1901 to 1966, was an American entrepreneur, animator, voice actor, and film producer who founded the Walt Disney Company. He is widely regarded as one of the most influential figures in the entertainment industry, having created some of the most iconic characters and films in history. Disney started his career as a commercial artist in the 1920s, creating cartoons and advertisements for local businesses. In 1923, he and his brother Roy founded the Disney Brothers Studio, which would later become the Walt Disney Company. Disney is best known for creating iconic characters like Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, and Goofy, and for producing classic animated films like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Pinocchio, and Fantasia. He also created Disneyland, the first ever theme park, which opened in 1955 in Anaheim, California. Disney won numerous awards for his contributions to the entertainment industry, including 22 Academy Awards and 4 honorary Oscars. After his death in 1966, his legacy continued with the Walt Disney Company expanding into new areas of entertainment, including television, live-action films, and theme parks around the world. A flipbook is a small book with a series of pictures that vary gradually from one page to the next. When the pages are flipped quickly, the pictures appear to animate and create the illusion of motion. The flipbook is a simple form of animation that has been used for entertainment and education for many years. Flipbooks were first popularized in the late 1800s and early 1900s as a simple and inexpensive form of animation, and they continue to be used today as a creative and engaging way to tell stories or demonstrate a process. And what is Magic Lantern? The Magic Lantern is an early image projection device that was invented in the 17th century. It is a forerunner to the modern slide projector and movie projector. The magic lantern consists of a light source, typically an oil lamp or candle, a concave mirror to direct the light, a glass slide with an image painted on it, and a lens to focus the image. The image on the glass slide could be a painting, a drawing, or a photographic image. The light source is placed behind the slide and the image is projected through the lens onto a wall or screen. The size of the projected image can be adjusted by moving the lens closer or further away from the slide. The magic lantern was initially used for educational and scientific purposes, such as displaying anatomical illustrations, but later it became a popular form of entertainment. It was used for storytelling and for projecting colorful, moving images to entertain audiences. The magic lantern played a significant role in the history of visual media, and it paved the way for the development of modern projection technology, such as slide projectors and movie projectors. And types of animation. There are several types of animation, including traditional animation. This involves drawing each frame by hand, which is a time-consuming process. Examples include classic Disney movies like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Computer-generated imagery, CGI. This is a digital form of animation that uses computer software to create images and scenes. Examples include Pixar movies like Toy Story and Finding Nemo. Stop-motion animation. This involves physically manipulating objects or puppets and taking a photograph of each movement to create the illusion of motion. Examples include Wallace and Gromit and The Nightmare Before Christmas. 2D animation. This is a type of animation that involves creating characters and backgrounds in a two-dimensional space. Examples include early Disney movies and Japanese anime. 3D animation. This is a type of animation that involves creating characters and environments in a three-dimensional space. Motion graphics. This involves creating animated graphics and typography, and please subscribe my YouTube channel.